A lot of people go into relationships superficially. A lot of people go into relationships superficially, right? Based on what a person looks like, based on sex, based on how much money a person has, and then they wonder why the relationship fails.
True.
You're not going into the relationship based on the true identity of the person, because that is not the person that they show you.
Yeah.
If they had shown you that person before, y'all might not even be compatible. You get what I'm saying?
It's true. It's true, because you realize who that person really is without their facade.
Yeah.
You know, and you're wondering like, damn, is this the person I want to be with?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I want to be with that person? Mm-hmm. You know, if you can go into it and see that person's true self first, and you're okay with it, well, then you got something there. But if they show you their representative all the time and you never get to meet who they really are, then that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah. It's a recipe for disaster, because you eventually it's going to come out.
Certainly is.
Yeah, eventually. If a person is showing you their representative way up front, right? And then you fall all in love with it, and eventually the real them comes out, you like, who are you?
Exactly.
This is not who I fell for. This is not who I was trying to be with.
Right.
Right? And that's the problem with flexing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's the problem with putting on. Right? It's okay to show your best self when you're meeting people and when you're talking to people, but it is not okay to show a false self.
True. Ooh, I like that one.
Do you understand? Because a lot of people is showing a false self when they meet people, and then when the real person comes out, for somebody they're like,
Right.
This ain't the person I know. This ain't the person that I met, right? Mm-hmm. So bring out your best self on dates, but not a fake self.
Not your false self.
Not your false self, right? Because at the end of the day, the real you is going to come out, and a lot of people are not going to like what they see because they were compatible with your fake self.
Dang, oh. That's what I think. That's where they talk about most marriages end in divorce.
Yeah.
You know, 50, whatever that number is that people throw out, 50% of marriages end in divorce is because it's the false self.
Right.
It's not the real self, and they couldn't keep it up for too long. And before you know it, they let their real self out.
Yep.
And the real self is a monster.
You like, who you is?
Exactly. That's not who I married.
That inside. That inside is going to speak for itself.
Right.
People base their identity and their self-worth so much on how they look or how much money that they make that they forget about the true self. And the true self shows up, and it is a person that people will not like, and that is why the relationship oftentimes fails. And you like, what's wrong with them? No, what's wrong with you?
Facts. Listen, that doesn't mean when you go out on your date that you gotta be all animalistic and burping and farting, picking your nose and scratching your butt.
Correct.
That's not what we're talking about, being your real self.
Right.
You know, you still gotta have manners. We're talking about being your authentic self.
Correct.
You know, you like to laugh funny, laugh funny.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to put on airs. Be your true self and let the chips fall where they may.
Yes.
And if they don't like it, so be it.
So be it.
All right, now listen, there's gonna be a part 3. Don't forget now. Don't miss it.